What's going on, y'all? Sounds here with another beat making tip video. In this video, what I want to get into is how to make more professional sounding sample beats. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a beat that I made. I also made a music video to this. I put the video out about, I think last week, about a week ago or so. I sampled Pat Benatar, Love is a Battlefield, which is a pretty common sample. But I used it a little different than what most people use it. A lot of people just kind of loop it a little bit, maybe chop it up a little bit. I chopped it up a little bit more and then used it in my own kind of way. Added my own flavor to it. But what I'll do is I'm going to show you the hook from the part that I took and chopped up, and then I'll show you what I did to it. I'm going to show you it right here real quick so you can hear what that sounds like for those who haven't heard it.
We are young.
Yeah, that's basically all that I used from that song, was just that part of the hook. I took that part, chopped it up. I actually found an acapella version of it because I didn't want the drums from it. I didn't really want to use the drums. So I was able to find an acapella version that did still have some strings and stuff in it. It had some of the synths in it, which actually sounded good for this. I did talk about it in another video, how to make sample beats using the drums out of a sample, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It all depends on what you want to do with the sample and what you feel with the sample. In this particular beat, I didn't want to use the drums. A lot of times I really don't like using drums. I would rather use drums only if I'm not using the vocals. If I'm using the vocals and it, and it makes sense with the drums, then I'll use it. But most of the time when I'm using vocals, I look for an acapella, which I found here, and I was able to do it and make a beat. Let me show you what I did with it with the chops.
We stand heartache to heartache. We stand. No one can tell us where. No promises, no demands. Searching our hearts, we stand.
Alright, so that's what I did to it after I chopped it up. Rearranged the words a little bit to get it to say what I wanted it to say. And then after I made the beat, we wrote a song to it, did the video to it. Alright, now let's get into some of the sounds that I used and exactly how I used them along with that sample. I'm going to just play all the sounds individually. I'll solo them out so you can hear them. So let me show you what I did with the bass line. And this is, I use a synth and a regular bass on it. Alright, so I put that in there to go along with what she was singing in the song, and I'll show you in a minute what everything sounds like together. And this is the bass line that I put underneath that synth. So that's the bass line right there, and I put that underneath the synth sound just to kind of give it the type of feel that I wanted to go with that beat. It's like a wood block type sound right there with a reverb on it. That's the kick. It's like it's an open hat I threw in there. And that actually, I put that over the snare. That's another kick that I added in there. I used different kicks in there, blended them together. And that's one of the things you got to remember. I'm a big fan of doing that. Is taking sounds and layering them and doing things to them to make a whole different sound. Like if I want a certain sound out of a snare, I'll use like 2 or 3 different snares or different sounds just to make a snare. It doesn't necessarily have to be different snares together, but it can be claps, it can be anything, any kind of sound that you want to use to make the sound that you want over that drum or whatever it is. That's another sound I put over the snare right there. Okay. That's the sound I used for a crash in the beginning of it right there. I didn't use the actual crash, I used like more of a metal, I don't know what you call that sound right there, but it sounded hot for this beat. That's a clap that I throw in there. And that goes over the snare as well. You can see I used a lot of sounds just for the snare right there, just to get it to sound the way I want it. That's another clap right there. So I used 2 different claps on it. To be honest with you, I don't even think I used the actual snare on this snare. Yeah, tambourine right there. That's actually a part of the Pat Benatar sample. I just threw that in. You know what I'm saying? That came out pretty hot right there. I like the way that sound came in there. But that's all the sounds I use right there. You can see how I put that together. And then when it all comes together, it sounded like this. Part of the sample. Look at that. Hold on. All those sounds you hear in there are actually not even sounds I played. They're part of the sample. I'm saying I just played around with it with different parts of that sample. I just took the keyboards out of it. I played around with it. I chopped it up. I played my own melody with it the way I want. One thing I really like to do is I like to take 1 or 2 notes out of a sample, just the notes out of the instrument part. Chop it up, play my own melody with it. I love doing that. That's just something that's just like, you know what I'm saying? You heard it. That's that part right there. But yeah, man, that beat came out real nice right there, man. I'm really feeling it. Alright, so that's basically what I did with that beat. But what you want to keep in mind is that when you're chopping up samples, for me, in my opinion, it's actually easier to chop samples that don't have the beat behind them. Only because you can get more creative with them. You know, you can take little words out here and there. If you have the beat in there, you might just want a word in, and it'll have like some type of cymbal or a kick or a snare in there that you don't want in there, and there's no way to really take it out. So it is better for me, in my opinion, to use just the acapella if you really want to get creative with a sample, even if you're chopping it up or not chopping it up, and then you can kind of play your own instruments around it. It's a lot easier. Yeah, man, that's all I got for today, man. Just remember, if you want to go check out that video, I'll leave the link below in the description, and also if you want to download the song, I'll leave the links also below in the description to download it on SoundCloud, so you can go check that out if you want. But that's all I got for today, man. And that's Sound signing off. Peace.
Let's get it. Go dumb hard when the pressure cook. Winds never wanna blow your way when you tryna push. Switching up the angle for a better look. Can't do it legit. Go hard, do it off the books. Don't hate the kid, I'm just trying.